Okay, now let's look at how to do a blind stitch. So this is another one that we frequently use for hems. Um, and so I folded up a 1-inch hem along the long side of my sample piece of fabric. But to do this one, in addition to making that fold for my hem, I'm going to fold that hem allowance back slightly so that I can work in between the hem allowance and the body of the fabric. So on this one, we are going to work from right to left. If you are left-handed, you will probably find it easier to work the other direction. So on this one, I'm going to start my fabric on that piece of the hem allowance that I have folded backwards. And I'm going to take a stitch through just that layer. So if I flip that up, I want to see, I don't want to be catching the rest of the hem allowance here, and I don't want to be catching, obviously, the outside of the fabric there. So I'm going to pull through to form that stitch, and just let my tail rest inside that hem allowance down below. Next, I'm going to come up to the body of the fabric just right above that stitch that I made on the hem allowance. And this is another one where I want to catch just 1 or 2 threads. So right above there, I'm going to catch just 1 or so threads of the body of the fabric. And I'm going to pull through. Next, I'm going to come back down about 1/4 of an inch away onto the folded back edge of my hem allowance, and I'm going to catch that hem allowance. Again, making sure that I'm not catching the rest of the hem, I'm just catching that folded piece. And then just like before, I'm going to come up directly above there to the body of the fabric and catch just 1, 2 threads maximum of the body of the fabric. And that's going to pull tight. And then I'm going to come 1/4 of an inch away back onto the folded piece of my hem. I'm going to come up to the body of my fabric, catch a thread, catch my fold. While I have it folded back, I get a little bit of a zigzagging, but once that's folded flat, like it will be on the hem, that'll pull just a touch tighter and then lay flat. But we still want to be able to see where we're working for now. The key to this one being really invisible on the outside is always just catching 1 or 2 threads when we're working on the body of the fabric. And sometimes you may need to fold up that bit of hem to double check that you're not catching the rest of the hem because we want it to stuck. Sometimes you'll get little tangles that don't want to go through. We just sort them out, tell them to behave, and keep going. Okay, as I'm approaching the end of my seam, I'm going to catch the body of the fabric just one more time, again making sure I'm only catching just a thread or so. And then I'm going to come back down to my hem allowance to make a catch. And then tie my knot. And then I'm going to send that thread down into the hem allowance, come a ways away, and then come and pull that tight. And make sure you don't pull too tight so you don't cause scrunching. And then trim off my needle and thread there. And so then the edge of that hem allowance can then be pressed so that it lays flat. So you should see just a few stitches as they show on your hem allowance. And then when you're looking at the right side of the fabric, hopefully your stitches are very close to invisible. And as you can see, even with a contrasting thread, a lot of them blend in very nicely and don't show on the outside of the fabric. So that is a blind stitch. You will want to make sure that when you're using blind stitch that you've done something to finish the edge of that hem allowance. In my example, I've pinked that edge, but you can also do that with, you can also finish that edge by serging or by any other means of finishing the edge of that fabric.